Liberals are so stupid the way that they handle Trump.
What do you mean?
You should shut up. He's a narcissist.
Here's where things really get interesting, because when it comes to Donald Trump, liberals just can't seem to figure him out. In fact, every attempt to weaken him only ends up making him stronger. Don't believe it? Let's rewind to that unforgettable moment when Bill Burr appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live and flipped the entire conversation on its head. As Burr dropped truth bomb after truth bomb, Kimmel looked like he was about to melt right through his suit jacket. And honestly, it was priceless. Now here's the twist. Burr isn't some hidden conservative waving a MAGA flag in secret. He's openly left-leaning and has never tried to hide it, but every now and then, even a staunch liberal stumbles onto an uncomfortable truth. And that's exactly what happened here. Burr pointed out that it was, ironically, the liberals themselves who helped elevate Trump to political stardom. Think about it. Each time they tried to take him down through scandals, indictments, or endless negative coverage, did Trump fade away? Not even close. Every gotcha moment only amplified his fame.
Sociopaths, all of this type of stuff. Like, you want to see a great case thing on, like, narcissism. Liberals are so stupid the way that they handle Trump.
What do you mean?
You should shut up. He's a narcissist. Neutral energy.
Yeah.
Neutral.
You think he'd go away?
You know what I think he was? I think he was a one-hit wonder. Right? He wrote the twist. And then that was it. He was on the casino circuit, and then you idiot liberals wrote him twist again when you indicted him. And now he's a martyr.
And now he's
coming back, Jimmy.
The peppermint twist is back. Yeah.
Hardened his base and boosted his momentum. Burr compared it perfectly. It's like playing the twist on repeat until it becomes a hit again. Trump could have stayed a fading celebrity, maybe hosting shows or running casinos, but the constant attacks made him bigger, louder, and nearly unstoppable. In trying to silence him, they ended up writing his comeback anthem. And guess what? Burr was absolutely right. This wasn't some anti-Trump rant. It was just the reality of the moment. Liberals, without meaning to, turned Trump into a political martyr, and there was no undoing it. Every attempt to cut him down only made him larger than life. But Burr didn't stop there. He didn't just highlight the left's fixation on Trump. He peeled back another layer.
Burr is here. He means no harm.
How long have you been wearing suits? You're supposed to unbutton the coat when you sit down.
No, that's not true.
Bugging me the whole time.
All right, I'll unbutton everything. More with Bill Burr after this. We'll be right back.
That's when things got really uncomfortable on Jimmy Kimmel's set. You could feel the tension rise as Burr's words hit harder with each sentence, and suddenly Kimmel wasn't hosting a comedy segment anymore. He was sitting in the middle of a cultural truth bomb, and there was no easy punchline to escape it. When asked about the upcoming election, Bill Burr didn't deliver the usual late-night, politically approved soundbite. He didn't rush to denounce Trump or blindly cheer for Biden or Harris. No, Burr said something refreshingly human. He admitted he's simply tired. "I'm worn out," he confessed. "It's the same candidates, the same speeches, the same nonsense, again and again." That's when things got interesting. Because even though Burr tried to mask it as a joke about both candidates' age, his real message was crystal clear. He's done with Biden's America.
I can't believe, like, these are honestly going to be our two choices, because I really try to, with each thing, to try to be like, figure out who I'm going to put. I mean, there's got to be, I want somebody in their 40s, somebody that's going to have to live with their decision. I don't want, like, you know, with any luck, they'll both die of natural causes before the election. And maybe you could get somebody that still has something to live for.
And he doesn't want more of Harris either. He's craving something new, someone younger, sharper, someone who will actually live with the consequences of their decisions instead of coasting through the twilight of their careers. And honestly, can you blame him? But Jimmy Kimmel wasn't ready for that kind of honesty. This wasn't the script he had planned. He expected Burr to deliver the standard late-night routine, the kind of speech Trump supporters have heard recycled 1,000 times. Instead, Burr started slicing through the narrative, calmly exposing the contradictions and weak spots, leaving Kimmel visibly squirming in his seat. The best part? Burr wasn't cruel, loud, or angry. His delivery was calm, measured, almost casual. No drama, no theatrics, just truth wrapped in humor. And that's exactly why it hit like a thunderclap. Because Burr voiced what millions quietly feel but rarely hear on TV. The exhaustion, the disillusionment, the hunger for something real. In that moment,
it's not about free speech. This is about the free market. On free speech, Jimmy Kimmel isn't losing his ability to speak out and say whatever the heck he wants. He could run the Substack just like his friends Don Lemon, Jim Acosta, Joy Reid, Chuck Todd, and say whatever's on his mind there. The difference is he's not going to get paid $15, $16 million a year from Disney and ABC to do it. I mean, here's the thing. This was a last straw moment for Disney, ABC, the affiliates Nexstar, and Sinclair.
It wasn't about left or right. It was about honesty. And Burr, in his simple, unfiltered way, reminded everyone watching that sometimes the most powerful rebellion isn't outrage, it's sincerity. They're exhausted, even the ones who would never dream of voting for Trump, worn down by endless woke politics and hollow pandering, tired of being told what to love and what to hate. It's not outrage anymore, it's fatigue. But Burr's moment wasn't just a passing laugh, it was a mirror reflecting a much bigger problem. Time was already running out for Jimmy Kimmel. His struggles began long before that awkward exchange. The ratings had been dipping for months, his comedy fading into lectures that audiences no longer found funny. The once playful host had turned into a nightly scold. Remember when people used to say, "Hey, did you catch Kimmel last night?" Exactly. Nobody says that anymore.
President Barack Obama has criticised the decision, writing, "After years of complaining about cancel culture, the current administration has taken it to a new and dangerous level by routinely threatening regulatory action against media companies unless they muzzle or fire reporters and commentators it doesn't like. This is precisely the kind of government coercion that the First Amendment was designed to prevent, and media companies need to start standing up rather than capitulating to it."
The spark is gone. The jokes feel recycled, the energy predictable. For years, Kimmel relied on political snark to keep things fresh, but it stopped connecting. Audiences don't want homework at midnight, they want humor. And as laughter disappeared, so did viewers. Television is still a business, and even the most loyal networks have limits. You can only lose so much money before the plug gets pulled. And that's what happened. Not because of some scandal or secret government scheme, but because of simple, undeniable math. The numbers told the story, ratings down, advertisers gone, profits vanishing. It wasn't dramatic, it was inevitable. When the crowd stops laughing, late night dies quietly. Burr's honest exhaustion wasn't just a punchline, it was a warning sign. He voiced what millions felt, and Kimmel's decline became the proof. The audience had finally checked out, not because they were angry, but because they were simply tired.
Screaming about the First Amendment and free speech is driving me crazy. People seem to think that the First Amendment allows every individual to say whatever they want, wherever they want, whenever they want. That's not what the First Amendment does. What the First Amendment does is provides that Congress can make no law to prohibit you from speaking. It does not say that you can't get fired for saying some stupid stuff. Right? It does not say that. And so Jimmy Kimmel, as you've said, has not been silenced. This is not chill.
Some people are calling Kimmel a martyr for free speech. Seriously? That argument doesn't even make sense. Free speech means the government can't silence you. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed a massive platform and a $15 million paycheck from Disney. No one's taken his voice away. If Kimmel wants to keep talking politics every night, he can start a podcast tomorrow, post on Substack, or upload videos to YouTube. Nothing's stopping him. What's really happening is simple. Disney just doesn't want to pay for political rants that shrink their audience. Honestly, that's just common sense. Barack Obama's sudden concern about cancel culture is honestly kind of funny. This is the same man who stayed silent during his presidency while celebrities, comedians, and ordinary people were publicly shamed and silenced.
Jimmy Kimmel thought he was bigger than Disney, bigger than Mickey Mouse. Charlie Kirk's body isn't even buried, and ABC affiliates are refusing to air his show. They're on the brink of an advertiser boycott, and this guy's not even in first place. And he says, let's go another round. So the boss said, take a breather, Jimmy. You're costing us a fortune.
At the time, cancel culture worked in his favor, so he was fine with it. But now that the tides have shifted, he's suddenly opposed to government-imposed limits and intimidation. Give me a break. At its core, this is selective outrage. And let's be real, it's all public, just like Kimmel's situation. Over the years, many jokes were poorly executed, alienating half the country. Trump supporters have been routinely called racists, idiots, and worse. Colbert and Seth Meyers are no exception. They've blurred the lines, turning politics into bad comedy and comedy into political messaging. And what do you know? People don't want to sit through late-night seminars. They came for laughter. But they weren't mocking Kimmel. He had long pushed a partisan agenda. Even his most devoted fans eventually lost interest. That's why seeing Bill Burr on his show was so refreshing. In that moment, Burr did what Kimmel had avoided for years. He was honest. He said out loud what everyone already knew. Trump's comeback was fueled in part by left-wing actions. The woke agenda is exhausting, and the leadership options being presented are uninspiring. This isn't about conservatism versus liberalism. It's just plain honesty. The best part, Burr hasn't faced cancellation for speaking the truth. He's still performing, still doing comedy because he hasn't sacrificed his craft to become a political puppet. Comedy remains his priority, and even critics respect him for it. On the other hand, Jimmy Kimmel seemed to think he was untouchable, like he was bigger than Disney and even Mickey Mouse. But here's the reality. Ratings matter, and when they drop, the network doesn't care about you. They'll cut you loose, and that's exactly what happened. Could Kimmel make a comeback? Honestly, I don't see it. His late night empire is effectively over, and while he might try posting online like other canceled shows, the audience has already moved on. Once the laughter fades and people stop paying attention, the game is done. So, what do you think? Was Bill Burr just joking? Or was he voicing the frustrations of millions of Americans tired of the nonsense? Was Kimmel truly a victim of the system he helped create? Or did he bring this on himself? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Trust me, you'll want to be here when we dive into the next Hollywood disaster. Here's the bottom line. Jimmy Kimmel's show wasn't canceled by Trump. It wasn't some political takeover. It happened because of his own arrogance, his politics, and a shrinking fan base. And in the end, that might just be the funniest joke of all.